As many of you are aware, Roblox horror games have more or less exploded in popularity recently. I'm not entirely sure why this is, but I'm totally on board with it. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that around 50% of Roblox horror games are the same thing, where a singular monster chases you around a maze while you collect something to get out, maybe press some buttons, pull some levers, and then a door opens. While I was compiling this list, I actually played like probably more than 20 games that were exactly that, and trust me, they are not my favorite. I'm tired of running into meh Roblox games that just aren't scary. So with painstaking effort, I present to you the top 5 scariest Roblox horror games, with honorable mentions. Kicking off our list at number 5, we have Far From Land. This is a game where you're put in the shoes of a captain of a decaying cargo ship. You've been tasked with transporting goods and robots to a client on a week-long voyage. Not only do you have to worry about steering away from the icebergs and the ship falling apart, but you quickly come to find that you're not alone on this ship. Each night gets harder as more friendly robots come to introduce themselves to you. Sound reminiscent of Five Nights at Freddy's? Good, because it is a FNAF fan. But this is easily the best to do it on Roblox. The atmosphere and design are terrifying, and the thought of being stuck at sea on this rust bucket is surprisingly unsettling. Each day of the voyage is divided into 2 parts. The classic night shift watch, where you steer the ship and watch the hulls, and a unique open ship event where you are given a task list and you have to finish inspecting the ship in total darkness before leaving. In my opinion, this part is scarier because the only way of knowing if a monster is right in front of you is if you hear their breathing. It's honestly better than some official Five Nights at Freddy's games, so go check it out. Coming in at the next spot, we have The Mimic. This is one of the more popular games on the list and is still receiving more storylines in the near future. This game takes all of its inspiration from traditional Japanese folklore, with the settings being in Japan and following classic Japanese monsters and yokai, which I, needless to say, am a huge fan of. There are currently 2 storylines in the game, with new monsters in each chapter of the storyline. The models for the monster with the creepy traditional setting are a lethal combo. And there is an in-depth story for each of the chapters which builds on a bigger mystery case, but if you ask me, it just feels like you're tripping on magic mushrooms the whole time. The atmosphere and overwhelming feeling that you aren't supposed to be here, mixed with the terrifying monsters and jump scares, makes this an easy pick to play for anyone looking to get scared. Plus, the game is extremely forgiving with progression, so if you die, you are barely set back at all. This makes it very user-friendly and accessible for everyone. Coming in at number 3, we have Doors. In this game, you are tasked with progressing through rooms in order to escape alive. Each room is randomly selected and can have any random monster in it. There are dozens of enemies, each requiring specific ways to, not die. The first 50 rooms are set in a hotel, and the next 50 in a mine shaft. The reason I absolutely love this game is because it never gets old. No one run will be identical to the last, and if you get the same room, it most likely will have a different monster or event. I doubt many of the viewers watching this are old enough to know what Spooky's Jumpscare Mansion is, but this game is heavily based on it. Just better. In actually almost every single way. So definitely check this one out. But keep in mind, this is a decently difficult game. It will take numerous runs to clear the game because you will need to learn how to counter the monsters. And don't worry, the game will explain it to you after you die to them. At number 2, we're going to have PacMan, a very niche and underappreciated game. In this game, you play the classic arcade game in first person. Sounds pretty boring, fair enough. But the whole time you're running from one big amalgam of what I can assume is supposed to be Blinky, the Red Ghost, for those of you who are not caught up on their Pac-Man lore. The maze is eerily quiet, leaving you running around looking for these pellets, waiting for the monster to pop up. But once he does, the chase will never end. He is unrelenting and is waiting for you to take even a single wrong turn for keeping you over. But be careful, and I mean this seriously, do not get caught. When you get caught, your application will explode. You won't be able to close the game or move your cursor off the middle of your screen. Funny story, actually. My first time trying to play and record this game, I died and had to task manager my way out. But once I did, I saw that my recording was stopped, and when I went to see the file, it was corrupted. Spooky coincidence? Very likely, but it was still pretty terrifying. It's a personal favorite of mine for all these scare factor reasons, but it can't be mentioned without talking about the music. The music is an absolute banger and just makes the game so much more fun to play. If you're feeling confident enough, give it a shot. I said it was a top 5, but really, I lied, because there are 7 games that I found that were awesome to play. Our first honorable mention is Demonology. This is one of the very many Phasmophobia remakes on Roblox, but I think it's the best by a mile. The monsters are scary, the graphics are awesome, and this is one of the few where there are some completely new mechanics from the original game, such as wilting. This is an ideal game to play with friends and have a solid, scary game co-op night. And it has good progression to work towards, making it even better. I think this game is super fun. I just couldn't give a direct remake of Phasmophobia a spot in the top 5, even if it's free. For our second honorable mention, I'm giving it to Sundowner. Like, wow. Words can't even describe how much I love this game and everything that it intends to portray. The best way to put this game is that it's a psychological horror indie style game. It has no outwardly scary elements other than the thoughts and expressions of the game. There are 12 unique endings depending on how you brave the barren, mysterious landscape, with the sole purpose of looking for food to survive, so you can make it to the next day. I might genuinely make a whole separate video about this because of how much there is to unpack with this game, directly and thematically. The text-based elements and grainy graphics aren't everyone's cup of tea, but please consider checking it out if you have time on your hands. And finally, our number 1 spot is reserved for a Paraphobia. No one is surprised, and it's understandable. It's just that good of a game. But if you aren't familiar, this game takes the backrooms to a whole new level. You're dropped right into the classic backrooms with only a camera and a couple of notes showing you what to do. The graphics are phenomenal, and the monsters are extremely high quality for jump scares and other forms of torment. The sheer amount of content is insane, with there being 24 different levels of the backrooms at the time of this recording. I'm barely going to show more than the first level so that you guys can experience it all for yourselves, but some of these are pretty terrifying. If you didn't notice by the fact that multiple of these games have water, like Far From Land, I'm pretty scared of that setting. I have to admit, I'm not a fan of water. So for me, Floor 2, the one with the water, made me so unbelievably unsettled and honestly terrified the entire time. But yeah, not much else to say about this game. Go out there and get to work knocking those levels out. And with that, thank you all so much for watching. Drop a comment if you have any other games that you think I missed. Make sure to like and subscribe for more top 5s in the future.